This album really goes to show the adage of once bitten, twice shy, because, man, when I came into this album, I was extremely hesitant. And I didn't know if this was going to be just a complete bleh. But you know what? I was a little pleasantly surprised. So let's dive into it. End by Explosions in the Sky. So Explosions in the Sky is a Texas post-rock group. They got their start in the very early 2000s. The thing that I loved about these guys, because the first album of theirs that I heard was The Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place. You should check out my video on 20 albums that helped change my life. That was one of the albums that did that. Of just the overlay of sounds, the amount of atmosphere that these guys bring to the table. It really did recontextualize what I loved about music and what I come to music for. So yeah, right after that, I got All of a Sudden I Miss Everybody, and then I finally picked up Take Care, Take Care, Take Care. So those three albums from them I absolutely love, and I come back to quite often. And it wasn't until much later that I got into Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Die, Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Live Forever, How Strange Innocence, and The Rescue, the three that I kind of missed all around that. And each one was fine. You know, they all did the things that I loved about the post-rock and the Explosions in the Sky mythos. And yeah, then we came into 2016's The Wilderness. And this one was, 5 years after Take Care, Take Care, Take Care, that in my mind was kind of the perfect send-off for the album, for the band. I thought that was the perfect way to end their career, but they continued on, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I like to hear more in music, but The Wilderness was, to put it bluntly, it was not good. It was not a good record. I spun it a handful of times, and each time it kind of got worse and worse and worse. In my mind, it was a little bit of a dud. So I didn't even really return to it after the fact, and I didn't even check out the Big Bend, the original soundtrack for public television, which I don't know. I'm too scared to check that out. So yeah, when End came out last week, I was hesitant because of how bad The Wilderness hit me. And I have to say, this is a pleasant return to form. This is getting me back into what I loved with the band, with things like How Strange Innocence, their first track, even with like The Rescue and Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Die, Those Who Tell the Truth Will Live Forever. A little bit on the shorter side in terms of the track lengths. We don't have those 8-10 minute tracks that we had from All of a Sudden I Miss Everybody, Take Care, Take Care, Take Care, or The Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place, where you had those sprawling stretches of sounds that allowed for the music to really take shape and really blossom and come into their own. These are shorter. I think the longest one is the final track of It's Never Going to Stop at 8 minutes. And I'm okay with some of these punchier, shorter pieces. Now, before I get into the actual music itself, I think it bears talking about this has been kind of teased as being the final track, the final album from Explosions in the Sky. This is kind of their swan song. This is the last one, and that's part of the reason why it's called End. We'll see if that's actually true. We'll see if they actually, stop things off here. And if this were to be their final album, I was more okay with Take Care, Take Care, Take Care being the final track, Like that one had a little bit more of a finality about it, That one had a little bit more of a coming together and being a finisher of an album. This one is kind of like a lost legacy, I will say. This is much more of a coming together, finding out what worked within their musical stylings and really playing with that, And one of the things that these boys are masters of are creating atmosphere. They're creating different layers within the guitar works. They're creating a lot of different soundscapes and harmonizations that I really attract to. But what it is lacking is those really big buildups, those really big crescendos, those big explosions that I love from All of a Sudden I Miss Everybody and Take Care, Take Care, Take Care. Those are kind of gone. We don't kind of have that big oomph, that big punch. But what we have in the stead are heavenly, beautiful overlays of tones, of atmospheres, and of expressions. What I will say is, one of my favorite tracks on this, which is It's Never Going to End, it does one of the things that I felt the last couple of albums from Explosions in the Sky did that I wasn't a big fan of, which was begin to start something beautiful that ends the album without really doing anything. My favorite moments of this album are the last couple of seconds on this track, and I'm expecting them to really play with it and really build this up and really pass the ball from one member to another. And it just ends. It just fizzles. And I'm like, guys, where are you going? The game is still going on. Why are you leaving? So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about the individual pieces on this album outside of the final track. I will say that from start to finish, it's a solid record. It's one that I felt really keen to get back into and really had a good time anytime it would come on. And I found myself really enjoying my time with it. With this style of music, you also run the risk of once the music's over, I don't really have too much to think about. I don't have too much to go back onto. This album doesn't have a whole lot of perch. It's a really good time when it's on, and I love having it on for background music, but I don't think I'll return to this one as I do The Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place or All of a Sudden I Miss Everybody. This one it's fine. It's fine in a very good way. It's not one of those it's fine where I'm like, I don't really have too much to say about it. It's fine. This one it's a lot better than its last release, which was a major letdown. Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, my final rating of this album is going to be End by Explosions in the Sky is one I would still ultimately download. It's one to have in your collection. It's not one that I would invest too much money on. I don't know if I will run out and pick this one up in physical format, but it's one that I still enjoy going to and listening to. So yeah, that's kind of my take on this album. I was very pleasantly surprised. This one's probably the most surprising album that I've had this quarter, just based on how poorly received their previous album was. So that's all I've got for End from Explosions in the Sky. It's a good time. If you're a fan of the band, go check it out. If you're new to the band, this is a good entry point, but I would still recommend checking out those 3 albums that I keep coming back to. The Earth is Not a Cold Dead Place, All of a Sudden I Miss Everybody, and Take Care, Take Care, Take Care. Those 3 albums I think are their best works, and I would highly recommend checking those ones out first. So yeah, that's what I've got. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, please let me know by commenting down below. I promise you I'm going to have my Tesseract album review and my Baroness album review out very soon. I'm still digesting those. I still want to take some time and really get into those. The Deadly Carnage album that I reviewed on my last video it ate up all of my time. So now that I've had that review out, I'll really spend some time with Tesseract and Baroness, and hopefully I'll have those out late this week, early next week. So stay tuned for those. Get ready for those. And that's all I've got for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.